Hey, Coach Abel here along with Coach Weiss on another episode of Coffee with the Coaches. We've just been mulling over a few of our little rants that we have when we're all stoked with caffeine now, so we're going to share one with you. And I guess we'll call this, Coach, buying the sizzle instead of the steak. A lot of you people out there, you think when you write people like Coach or myself for diets or training advice or whatnot, you think that you want to get to the meat of the matter, but it's amazing to us, Coach, how many times what they really want to buy is the sizzle. So, you know, a lot of the times, I mean, Coach, you've got what? You won the universe. Now you're competing in the world championships in powerlifting. Or did you win the universe twice? I don't want to...
I placed second in the natural universe twice.
Okay.
And
but you won nationals how many times?
Twice. I won nationals.
You won nationals twice. You've broken powerlifting records.
Yeah, I've placed in the nationals in powerlifting.
So, and you're certified up the wazoo.
I guess I am, yeah. I'd have to look and make sure that's current.
For me, you're certified as an Abel Body Expert. That's good enough. So we're just having a coffee and we're having a few laughs at our own expense, actually. That people write us and they don't understand the level of expertise they're getting. You send someone a diet that cuts through all the crap, right? And often the response is, well, I was really expecting more. And we kind of scratch our head and say, expecting more. You've got a world champion, two-time national champion expert who cuts through all the bull crap and gives you exactly what you need, but because it doesn't come with all the internet bells and whistles, you respond with, well, I was expecting a little more. Listen, you can go on Calorie King and get a nice pie graph of your diet and your macro proportions, and they're even in color for your protein, your carbs, and your fat. Great. That's the sizzle, folks. That's not the steak. When you write an expert like ourselves and you want help and you get help, you got to realize that we're cutting through the appetizers and we're giving you the meat. And a lot of people that don't understand nuance, Coach, they don't understand. They think we're going to take a machete where a scalpel is what needs to be used. And when you understand experts, experts understand nuance. So that's the reason we do an evaluation and assessment, so we can cut through the crap, give you what your need state demands that you need, and we don't add a whole lot of bells and whistles because both of us, frankly, were against it. So again, understanding nuance means that as a consumer, you've got to trust the level of expertise that's granted, that you're not going to get all this fancy stuff you can get on websites because it's just not necessary. That's the sizzle, not the steak. And nuance means that someone like Coach or myself, we take a scalpel instead of a machete, where you're expecting the machete and you're getting the scalpel, so you end up responding that, oh, well, I thought there would be more to it. Yeah. You get what you need, and anything beyond that, if it's not what you need, then it's just superfluous. So we need to start getting you people to understand you need to simplify what you think is complicated, because there's too many people out there complicating what is in fact simple. So we call this choosing the sizzle over the steak and not knowing the difference. Coach?
Yeah, I think a lot of people that need the least amount of complication in their program are usually the ones that complain the most that it isn't complicated enough for them. They don't have the nice pictures and graphs and someone, I don't know, giving you these formulas that you have to be Einstein to figure out.
Yeah.
And they really have no training base. They have no effect of what a proper diet would do on their body anyways. They're essentially beginners looking for something that's advanced, and people that actually are advanced are doing stuff simpler than them. So
right. I always in my career looked and you yourself, we look for ways to simplify, not complicate.
Yeah, my life's complicated enough as it is. I don't need to sit down and figure out if I can have this 1 ounce of carbs here instead of 2 minutes later.
Yes, my pre, peri, and post proportions. I mean, what do you mean, like 15 extra grams?
Yeah. What happens when my metabolism starts to slow down?
Yeah, or eating less on off days. This is Coffee with the Coaches. This goes on with us all the time, where we banter back and forth about the nonsense that exists out there in the internet world, that you're not realizing, folks, that you're buying a lot of sizzle and not the steak. Coach and I like to get beyond that in our work, and sometimes you, the consumer, just can't see it. that there's brilliance in simplicity, and that's the whole idea. Something should be easy to follow. You shouldn't have to surrender your life to reach your physique goals. If you do, then you're either not meant to have that kind of physique, or you're just complicating what in fact should be simplified in order to make it work. So we call this choosing the sizzle over the steak and not knowing the difference. Any final thoughts there, Coach?
Yeah, basically you're going to take away one thing from this. If you dress up, you can dress BS up as much as you want, it's still BS.
Right, and unfortunately, I mean, because you're attacked so much with internet marketing, it's not your fault. You just don't know the difference if you don't have the years of experience. But if you choose to follow someone like Coach or myself, then you have to trust the world championship level. And myself, traveling all over the world, giving lectures and stuff, I know a few things. And we do know how to look beyond the sizzle to the steak. And that's what you should be shopping for. That's what you should be looking for. Our advice to you is when you go to these websites and you see lots of bells and whistles, that should be a warning sign, not an enticement. And this has been a Coach 'em Up Coffee with the Coaches.